Good morning, all. My name is Justin Bone, as most of you probably know. And this is my home where I live and work, the St. Peterschule, which means St. Peter's School in German. And this is my addiction ministry, and this is a wake up sobriety check in. The date today is Saturday, January 23rd, 2021, at 7:55 a.m. And, all right, so what happened with me yesterday? Let's see. I had a pretty tame day yesterday. I did get some stuff done that I needed to. I ended up getting on the phone and calling HSA in order to be able to get my GA application moving along, because my GA got cut off when I had PUA unemployment insurance, and now that that's over, I have no income. So we're working on that, and that's done. I paid my rent for 2 months in advance, which is kind of cool though. So the GA should be kind of, I have an interview for it on the 26th, Tuesday. Is that right? Yes, 26th. So that's cool. So that's, we'll be taking care of that. I made beans and broccoli for dinner last night. I watched some YouTube yesterday. Not really much exciting going on. Of course, I did have 2 sermons yesterday I thought were pretty good in morning prayer that I gave, that I thought were worth watching. So I felt really good about that. I stretched one more wrap of tape around my plugs, my tunnels, and so now there's 3. And for those of you that don't know, the way you go from one way you can go from one size up to the next size one way you can do it is to use a taper. And what that looks like is what it sounds like. It's a rod that tapers to a point and then folds out to the full size at the other end, and you slide that in your ear. Now it's smaller size, at larger gauges, which means a smaller size. It's really no big deal to do, but when you get to larger sizes, smaller gauges, before it starts to go into fractions of an, or measured by inch or whatever, centimeter, or millimeter rather, or whatever, centimeter, millimeter, whatever. One way you can do it is taping, because sometimes the jump, like from 0 to 00, is like 2 millimeters, and that's big. So to cram a taper in your ear. I think when I stretched up last time, that's what happened. But I did it. I had a professional piercer do it for me. I remember I was going to down on 16th and Mission, 16th in Valencia. I forget the piercing shop that's down there, because there was a guy down there who I really liked. He's pretty cool. His name was I love when stuff doesn't come to my mind. Tyler Dunn. Actually, he's really cool. He's a professional piercer. He's a pretty good, cool guy. He has huge ears, or did. I'm sure he still does, because they're big enough where they're not going to shrink up. But this is like back in 2015, I want to say. And I went in there. I went to Gestalt, have a couple beers, because I love to go there, not because I need to get drunk before I did or anything. But I went there to have a couple beers. The planned trip was to go to Gestalt and then go to have to buy some jewelry to have Tyler put them in for me. So I went there. So I went to the piercing place. I can't believe that I can't remember what it's called. It's on if you're walking up 16th toward the Castro, it's on the right, pretty much like right across from the gas station, almost a little bit. So anyway, right past Valencia. Or wait, Guerrero? Well, no, because gas station's at Guerrero. So maybe it's more, I don't know. It's between Guerrero and Valencia, I believe. Anyway, the point is that having somebody else do it, you can, last time I stretched with the taper, which is to get into these zeros, I caused an infection in this ear because I broke the skin. Now, it's okay, honestly, and then, because I couldn't get because what happened is this. I got the taper in, right, which caused the break, and I could feel it, and it hurt. But I've had this happen at the piercing shop. And that was never a problem because, you know what I mean? It's another person with two hands, and they can see very clearly what they're doing and stuff. And so what happens is, like, the plug would get in there, and then there would be no infection or whatever, because you know what I mean? There was no air touching and it would just heal up, and there was no contamination and stuff like that. But when I did it, I couldn't get the plug in after, so I had to, so the taper came out, and I had to put it back in, and then try to get the plug in after, and it came out again, and meanwhile, blood is getting on my fingers, which were clean, but still, you know what I mean? Like, God only knows. We're talking about microbes here, people. Like, really. So, so that was a pain in the butt. So I don't do that anymore. So now, like, what I do is I tape. And tape is a way to stretch your ears without breaking the skin, a lot more safely, without having any kind of blood or anything like that. Even though, the faster jump is to go with the tapered, but 2 millimeters is a big stretch. And so we don't do that anymore. So I think I'm almost up to a 00 though now. What you do is in fact, the taping is actually pretty fast because you do like one wrap of tape every couple days. And I mean, that's pretty quick. You get pretty fast results with that. So, man, what else is going on? I don't know. I made a really good omelet yesterday. I made country potatoes for breakfast. All this stuff is posted on Facebook. Facebook.com/JTCSF. I had red potatoes. I boiled them, which you're supposed to do first for country potatoes, and then you fried them after, second. Because if you don't do that, you end up with potatoes that are like, that are not fully cooked. So, I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother used to make scallop potatoes. Well, but and just like take like raw potatoes and fry them in the pan, but not even deep fry, just like with some like pan in there, like spirits and pan, but take some sliced potatoes and just fry them up. I mean, and you can do them that way, but they don't come out as good as they should, as if they are either baked first or boiled first and then fried. So, I don't know what else. I have no idea. I kind of felt lonely last night. I did have that. That happened, which is unusual. It hit me out of nowhere. I was like, "What? Not alone?" Because I do very, very well alone, honestly. Like, but I had a moment of loneliness, like where all of a sudden I wanted company. You know what I mean? And there was really no one to call. And there isn't really. The only people I know really that are kind of like, well, when I say lonely too, by the way, I mean a specific kind of company. And I don't mean necessarily, well, maybe I do mean sexual. Honestly, maybe I do mean that. But male company. But not necessarily sexual. Let me put it that way too. Not necessarily, but attractive males definitely would be better, would be good. I mean, I'm just to be honest with you. I mean, that would be ideal. And I'd be, you know what I mean? Let's put it this way: if it wasn't an attractive male, the company would be like, why bother? A little bit. I'm just going to be quite honest with you. So it was just to make sure that you know the type of company. So it was like almost like romantic, lonely company that I was like, looking for, kind of really. Um, but but I'm not gonna go, and I'm so commit. I mean, I'm so committed to not going to seek out the avenues that I did before that just were not making me happy. You know, because I'm not going to get anything out of it. If I do, it's going to be because I was out of my control, and But last night it was well within my control, and I just didn't. I just took a shower, and then I went to bed. Uh, I love I love doing what I'm doing now. I really do, and I love that I can wake up in this house every day, and do the it's all mine, and live my life the way I see fit, and my this apartment is an expression of my life, of who I am, and I like that. And that's very, very good, and I want to keep on developing that. So, I'm very much a creature of habit. I love the fact that I can do all my stuff on a routine, regular basis now. I mean, it is amazing to me. It is amazing to me, and I'm using, the examples from my life and how I feel to do my ministry. You know, because I know other people are going through the same thing. I know I'm kind of an oddball at the same time, and you don't run into people like me every day. I understand that, but like there are still people though that have a lot of the problems that things I deal with are the same things that other people deal with. So even though they're all the package of me is unique, just like it is with everybody. Everyone's got a unique package of all these things that are very, very human, and so but that doesn't mean that I can't share some of myself in helping myself and also to help other people. So that's what I'm trying to do. You know what I want to say too? I want to share this. I used to, back in the day, every day, when I was going to cosmetology school, I started this. I get up, make the bed. Get up, make the bed. Get up, make the bed right away. Get up, make the bed. All right? And I only recently just started being able to bring myself to do that here. What I would typically do, for a while I wasn't making my bed. And then for a while I was, but it wasn't the first thing I did. Now it is the first thing I do when I get up, and I like that again. Now I'm like, I wanted to, but the Lord didn't let me do that for a while. I'm not exactly sure why, because immediately, as you can see, when I got back to my life, my goal was like all the things that I like, that I know work, I want to start to re-implement like immediately. But the Lord controls all of it and controls the pace, right? So like the logging, I mean, you'd think that by the time I started the logging, there'd be enough organization there, right, to be making the bed every morning, sort of thing. But no, that's not really how that worked. So, but anyway, though now, and it changes. I swear to God, just making your bed in the morning immediately. It's amazing how now the whole, you know what I mean? If not, as you know, an unmade bed makes the bedroom look messy. You know what I mean? It's all it takes, really. Or it may not look thrashed or anything like that, but it doesn't look like looks like it's messy. Just because the bed is a big part of the bedroom, being the bedroom. And, so if the bed's made, really, the room really just comes to, and for somebody like me, I like my bedroom is all neat and I mean, it's great. There's nothing, nothing I gotta do in there. I don't have to walk by it and see the unmade bed and go, oh, I gotta do that. You know what I mean? It's just done. It's great, and it really makes me feel better. And so the first thing I do lately, and I'll let you know if it changes, is that for several days now, maybe 2 weeks or something. I don't know how long it's been, honestly. I don't log my bed making. It's been, I do that. I wake up and I open up the blinds. Sometimes I leave the blinds open, but oftentimes I don't because the light comes in, and it kind of makes it bright. So I do close, and I do leave like a little bit of the blinds open, and I always sleep with the window open. I like cool air at night. I really do. Sleeping cool. In fact, I thought about moving the bed away from the window a couple times, and I'm like, I like with the bed being right near the window. I really do. I don't want to lose that. I don't even want to lose like the fresh contact with fresh air that comes just from moving the bed a little over and still having the window open. I want to be right next to it and be able to open it and close it with my hand in the middle of the night if I want to. Because I thought, well, the benefit of moving the bed away from there would be like I wouldn't have, you know what I mean, that light come in the morning because this is somewhat east facing window. But no, I like it. I'm keeping it like that, and I talked to the Lord about it. Lord wants it like that too. I'm like, that's where we'll keep it for now. That's good. Works for me. I asked the Lord about everything, honestly. Kind of like in a dialogue opinion thing, because even though I know he's going to get his, you know what I mean? Even though it's going to be his way anyway, I'm like, what do you think about that? Think we should move that? And I just wait and see what's going to come. You know what I mean? But it makes it nice and conversational. It's good. I have to get some eggs. I'm wondering if I have, I don't know, I'm going to eventually replace eggs in the morning. That's already been on the horizon for a while. Eggs are not going to be a normal part of my daily diet. They are right now just because I like eggs. They're easy. They taste, they're great. And I haven't thought of anything yet that I'm going to replace it with, but it's definitely going to get replaced because I just don't feel that it's good to eat eggs every day. I mean, really, and I think that probably you're better off not eating eggs at all. I personally think that, but I'm not saying that that's true necessarily, but we do know that, if you eat eggs, you have high cholesterol a little bit. Sort of, anyway, really, unless you eat egg whites, and oh my God, what is more unpalatable than an egg white anything? Have you ever had an egg white bagel, for an egg and bagel sandwich? It is terrible. Seriously. Oh boy. Kale, people, you want to talk about healthy options? I like kale. Kale is a hell of a lot more tasty than egg white. Yeah. The yolk is the whole egg. The yolk is the whole egg, really. Without the yolk, you might as well just say, forget it. So, I did watch a great show last night on, called The 80s, The Decade That Made Us. And it was a series from 2013. And I have to tell you, it was the first time in a while I just turned the TV on and found something I wanted to sit and watch. I watched about an hour and a half of it. And, or maybe an hour total. I don't know, because I caught them both in the middle. But I watched most of one episode and then at least half of another, I guess. So that's like an hour and a half. And I enjoyed it. It was good. It was from 2013, and I just love, they were talking about the first cell phone that came out, and the stock market crash in 1987, and Tony Hawk, the skateboarder, who I remember my friend Jay Blackburn used to worship Tony Hawk, dude. But, and it was just cool. It was really, really cool. It was really, really neat. I enjoyed that. And I haven't found anything on TV, admittedly, I don't look. You know what? I want to watch. Which is terrible because I don't want to. I don't really feel comfortable with saying that. I want to watch more TV. I'm that's not really a great thing to aspire to. Tell you the truth. So I'm trying. New Year's resolution, 2021. I want to watch more TV. But TV for me is always you know what I mean? It's not just it has some sort of practical side to it too. You know what I mean? It usually inspires me for something to do something or it's reflective of something I'm trying to learn from it or something like that. It's not just it's an interactive thing, television with me, really. It really is. I'm either, riffing off or something, you know what I mean? I'm having fun with it. So I do want to watch more TV, but I don't want to watch more TV because, like, I don't want to, I don't want to be a couch potato. Wow, I haven't heard that word in a while, that term. Now, what else? My finger's healing up all right. I'm getting less and less afraid of taking a shower. It is afraid of taking it. Like I'm 78 years old. I'm afraid of taking a shower. Well, no, because when I cut myself, I am very, very like, like the hand. I don't even use the hand for anything. Like I mean, like I'm like, all right, I don't want to keep it immobile, even if it's like, not if it's like a cut that doesn't hurt. Let's put it that way. I mean, if it's like, you know what I mean? Like if I cut my arm or something, like it's no big deal, whatever. But if I cut like my fingers, I'm very like, I don't want to like touch it or move it or anything like until it's completely healed up again. I don't want to get it wet. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do anything. Right? Yeah, like that. So, because it hurts, and like I don't want to feel. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do anything wrong to it at all because I'm very sensitive about my hands. Because if I hurt my hands, then I can't point on videos and talk with my hands and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Actually, you know what? I'm so into my hands so much that I actually cut myself on purpose so that way it would draw more attention to my hands in the video when people were watching. You know what I mean? So it was yeah. No, I was cutting celery, making this was a couple days ago, and I posted about it on YouTube. I actually posted pictures of my cut finger as soon as I did it. It was a night. I was cutting celery to make at that time beans, which I still have some left over in the refrigerator. Beans are fantastic. I've been, I'm so glad that I have a pressure cooker to make beans in. They are a wonderful source of protein, and like 2 nights in a row, not 2 nights in a row. I'm sorry, 2 nights though. Now I've had beans and broccoli for dinner, and that's a fantastic meal. I have no red meat. I'm trying to cut down. I haven't eaten red meat in a while. I've had turkey and chicken, and I did have a lot of ham. I did eat a lot of ham there for a minute. That holiday ham lasted a long time, and what's really scary is that big ass holiday ham that was like this big, like it's big. Nobody ate a fucking other piece of that besides me. I polished that entire ham off myself over time. Over like 2 weeks, 3 weeks or whatever. I don't know how long it was. In fact, I posted, here's the last of the ham on Facebook. So if I find that post, I'll be able to chart back from the day I made it, how long it lasted. And you know what? Shit. That's the kind of thing like where really you shouldn't eat that much ham. One person should maybe consume like in a year at most. And that's still overdoing it. My God, my poor colon. I hope I don't get colon cancer. All right. Well, here's a dealio. Let me grab my prayer. Let me get my pen. Consuela. I was going to cook last night, by the way, too. Take some salmon out. Anyway, I was going to cook last night. I was going to cook the other night on a video when I was making the salmon, I think it was. I don't know, but I didn't do it. Anyway, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Oh God, give me strength to live another day. Let me not turn coward before its difficulties or prove recreant to its duties. Let me not lose faith in other people. Keep me sweet and sound of heart in spite of ingratitude, treachery, or meanness. Preserve me from minding little stings or giving them. Help me to keep my heart clean and to live so honestly and fearlessly that no outward failure can dishearten me or take away the joy of conscious integrity. Excuse me. Starting to sound like Gavin Newsom there a little bit for a minute. Open wide the eyes of my soul that I may see good in all things. Grant me this day some new vision of thy truth. Inspire me with a spirit of joy and gladness, and make me the cup of strength to suffering souls. In the name of the strong deliverer, our only Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Bless your servant, and I shall live and obey your word. Open my eyes that I may see the wonders of your law. I am a pilgrim on the earth. Show me your commands. My soul is ever consumed as I long for your decrees. You threaten the proud, the accursed, who turn from your commands. Relieve me from scorn and contempt, for I do your will. Though the powerful sit plotting against me, I ponder on your statutes. Your will is my delight. Your statutes are my counselors. Glory to the Father, to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Remember to pray for this morning. I remember in my prayers this morning the intentions of Junior Irwin, the repose of the soul of Howard Connolly, Carrie and Brian, and Bernadette and Stephen Connolly, Stuart Packman, Eric Mosnes, Keegan Forbes, Michael Nold, Coulter and his girlfriend, Richard Simmons, clergy with substance abuse issues, Jim White, Andrew Marmelstein, Dave Maloney, Fathers Driscoll and Padota, Keith Watley, Jimmy Harder, Michael Zorns, Tony Vucetta, Sharon Rogers, Ruben Padilla, Travis Carpenter, Kurt Berry, Larry Burdett, Janina and Mike Jones, TJ Hostomsky, Drunk Phil, June, Ann and Sam, my father and mother, the repose of the soul of Christine Baker, Lou and Gina Leach, Debbie Hawkins, Peter Steeler, Joshua and Kara, Danny Hudson, the monks of St. Gregory's Abbey, Clifton Barrett, Raul and Barbara Laborde, the repose of the soul of the Reverend and Mrs. Fred and Cheryl Merrick, Mike Smith, Pope Francis, Margie Burke, Kyle Schofield, Laura and Lydia, Ben and Jesse Bowman, Max Rossmeyer, Mark Andrus, the bishop, not the DJ, or, well, the DJ too, Jason Hayes, Jack and Ramit and their family, Bob Ottaviano, Charles Ratcliffe, Chris Reinhart, the repose of the soul of Nick Lee, Mickey McGee, repose of the soul of Mickey McGee, repose of the soul of Keith Lloyd, people at Delancey Street, Dustin Keast, Norma Lee Key, repose of the soul of James, the Holy Souls in Purgatory, the repose of the soul of Dustin Rasmussen, Charlie and Katie, Matthew Russian, the repose of the soul of John Judicki, Tyler Davis, the repose of the soul of Ryan Sicknick, Daniel Fonseca, Mark Darling, Jay Darling, Jesse Darling, Diane Darling, Erwin Rossmeyer, the repose of the soul of Anita Rossmeyer, Reverend Lisa at Sea, and Donald Trump. And all right. Abba Poman, Sayings of the Desert Fathers, page 188. A brother asked Abba Poman, "Is it better to speak or to be silent?" The old man said to him, "The man who speaks for God's sake does well, but he who is silent for God's sake also does well." A brother asked Abba Poman, "How can a man avoid speaking ill of his neighbor?" The old man said to him, "We and our brothers are two images. When a man is watchful about himself and has to reproach himself, in his heart he thinks his brother better than he. But when he appears to himself to be good, then he thinks his brother evil compared to himself." That's true. It's also hard to do because, it's hard to be reproachful of ourselves sometimes, especially when we have, we can see a lot of reasons why not to in front of us, but it's it is the better to be. It's because it seems like when we're reproachful of ourselves, especially openly, it seems like other people pile on and they're like, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did do that. Yeah, that's right. And you are, you do need to watch." And it's like, and a lot of times people do that to take attention off themselves too. You know what I mean? But so it takes a lot of courage to do, but you do get benefits from doing it. You do get benefits from doing it. That's why people don't like to apologize, because then they're afraid, you know what I mean? They're afraid it's gonna just start there. They're gonna get you know what I mean? People are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you know what? You did it. That was wrong, wasn't it?" And everyone's gonna jump on, and oftentimes they do, because people are losers like that. But if you can, that's all it is, really. That's all it is. God knows who did right and who did wrong. And if you know that you're, you know what I mean? If you know where you're right and where you're wrong, you can confidently do that. You can confidently admit your faults and apologize and deal with the people that can't deal, with the truth, and they try to take advantage of that. That's not going to take you down. That's nothing. That's their opinion on who did right and who did wrong. What is that worth? Nothing. So, anyway. All right. That, by the way, and I want to say it sometimes right now, when I call people losers, by the way, we're all winners and we're all losers. It's very situational. I'm not categorically saying anybody is a loser. I'm not, you know what I mean? There's no when I say someone's a loser, I mean in a certain context. When someone is behaving a certain way in a certain context. I'm not calling. So if you want to say, in a way, that's like calling the behavior a loser or whatever, more than the person. But let's be honest. We're in a situation and someone's a dick. I think it's fair to call them a loser. It doesn't mean that I think that they're unworthy of life. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to treat them with the respect, a base respect that everybody deserves. But they're still a fucking loser. You know what I mean? For being an asshole. So don't be afraid of that. But always remember to be respectful. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope it does. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean then when someone's, this is, now let me explain quickly why people prefer you don't use that language sometimes. Because with some people, maybe with many people, I don't know, using that kind of language allows them to, you know what I mean? The language we use, as I've talked about before, is very, very important to our psychology, about how we think. And if you're not very clear on, if you don't have a base level of respect for humanity, and you use language like that, it can lead to you sliding down into behavior that is not very, very good. All right? For example, if this guy's a fucking loser, he's a jerk, whatever. If that means that I'm going to next, you know what I mean? If that means that I'm going to maybe punch him next after that, or that I'm going to go key his car after that, because you know what I mean? He's a fucking loser. I'm going to fuck you up. That kind of stuff, right? If it means that I'm going to start to do that, then it's best that language is not used. You know what I mean? Because if it starts getting you into the psychology of now I have a right to mistreat this person, and sometimes you know what I mean? And sometimes it's not no one's got it perfectly. I mean, one thing I can tell you right now is anger does beget, But I mean, if you're saying to yourself, kind of like, what a, that guy's a fucking loser for that. And then you immediately kind of be like, I know I don't mean it like that, but in the sense that I just explained it, that's probably the safest way to do that, But ideally, maybe you don't even want to do that. But I'm just saying, allowing you to be human sometimes and go that, there are some people that are just cretinous wretches out there sometimes with the things that they do. And it's frustrating, But I do agree that, like, ideally it's best not to give yourself to that language, I guess. That's true. It really is. It's hard to do. But what I'm saying is that sometimes, it does reflect what is, and but you can't, it has to stop there. You know what I mean? You have to realize that, you're using that language very situationally, and that's it. Almost as soon as you're done saying that, you should jump out of that and immediately make a defense for that person. This is the only acceptable way to use that. If you're gonna do that, is to make a defense for that person immediately, at least in your mind, if not out loud. I mean, like, because it's dangerous. It is dangerous. You don't want to do that. Anyway, so that's it. Go and have a great day. I have to do morning prayer pretty soon. I have shit to do, so I have to go and do it. I'll talk to you later. God bless. Bye.